What is going on, my YouTube and Spotify people? Gents here, and you're listening to the Not Entertained Weekly Naughty Thoughts edition. And I've been away, as you guys know. I was away on vacation, visiting some of my family. I'm finally back. I came back, and it took me a little while to get adjusted and reacclimated to my schedule and everything. As you guys know, E3 was last week, so then I had to get adjusted to that. So I apologize for not giving you guys the weekly not last week, but I'm caught up now on E3. There's been a bunch of news around E3. I might as well just dedicate this video to that instead of just running down every single thing that was announced or teased or shown at E3. I figured, why not just let you guys know what I'm looking forward to for E3 from everything that was announced so far. Again, this is going to be like a hodgepodge of news slash just my thoughts on things. So this is the weekly naughty thoughts edition for this week. Again, apologize guys for not getting to last Friday, but here we go. All right, so out the gate, I'm just gonna say I think Nintendo probably had the best conference of E3. This is I don't know, I mean, unfairly I'm saying that because obviously Sony had backed out of the conference, and we don't know what they're gonna do. I'm assuming we'll get stuff at Tokyo Game Show, if not before then. Obviously, we're all expecting an announcement for their next gen console. What that will be named, other than PS5, we don't know. Those of you that watched E3 know that Microsoft announced Project Scarlet, but let's not get ahead of myself. Let's just jump back into Nintendo, and then we'll get to Microsoft later. So I have a Switch, I have Xbox One, and I have a PS4. So you know, all of these things. I don't really game on PC, so forgive me if I kind of skim through any titles that were announced for PC. But I'll try to stay on topic with the games that I guess relate the most to me, or that ones that were surprising to me and that I'll probably be picking up sooner or later. So for Nintendo, not surprised Breath of the Wild 2 got announced. I still haven't played the first one. I need to get to it. I know I need to get to it. Everybody keeps telling me I need to get to it. It's just the time investment for completing it is one of the things that's kind of shied me away from doing it. But obviously now that it's getting a second title, that I know the hype is real officially, and I can dive in on that when I get a chance. Luigi's Mansion 3. I've never played Luigi's Mansion. I know, shocker. I had a GameCube, but it was just one of the games that I just never picked up. I heard always heard good things about it. Low-key, Luigi's always had some solid games that's come out for him. I'm looking forward to it. I'll probably try it or rent it or maybe catch it on sale, just because I haven't played it myself. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad it's gonna get ported over to the Switch. Now, I'm not big. Again, another title that I've never played, Animal Crossing. I've never played it before. Always heard good things about it. Always knew people were always hype and looking for a new one. Obviously, the characters were put into Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and it got announced. So it did get delayed, but we did get a trailer of the new Animal Crossing. I know nothing about Animal Crossing, but if when this game comes out, it gets, you know, positive reviews, I'll probably check it out at some point. Pokemon Sword and Shield, we got new gameplay for that. I'm hype about that. That's probably the most, well, not the most. Let's see, let me look at this list real quick. The second most game I'm looking forward to on the Switch that was announced at E3, Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'll definitely be picking that up. I need a new circle of friends, so if you guys are playing Pokemon Sword and Shield, or you're looking to get into some competitive battles, hit me up in the comment section. Let me know what your ideas on Switch, because all my friends don't like playing competitively in Pokemon Sword or in Pokemon in general. So hit me up on there. We can get some games going. That'll be dope. Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening was already announced. I already talked about it previously, but yes, I'm looking forward to that. Ultimate Alliance 3, I already talked about that. I'm looking forward to that as well. Fire Emblem Three Houses, I'm looking forward to that also. Dragon Quest is getting ported over. Resident Evil 5 and Resident Evil 6 is getting ported over. They announced a Mario and Sonic Olympic Games for 2020. I don't know. I saw that they had soccer in there. They had racing in there. They had a couple other things. I think they have volleyball in there too. I never really got into the Mario and Sonic Olympic Games, but they have a purpose. I'd rather play that than play Mario Party, I guess. Something that I might pick up if it's super cheap or on discount, but other than that, I'll just skip that. But let's get to my most anticipated game for the Switch. It's definitely got to be No More Heroes 3. No More Heroes 3, and I know a lot of people might drop their jaw here, but I've never played 1 or 2, and I've always wanted to. When the game came out, I looked for it. I didn't have a Wii, but I always wanted to go to somebody's house that had the game, and I just never got to those people's houses to play the games. They had another No More Heroes game that came out recently, and it was like a top-down kind of like arcade hack and I don't know what it was, and it just didn't. It was not what we were kind of expecting to come from the series and franchise. So I'm glad No More Heroes 3 is coming out. They actually didn't really show any gameplay, but the trailer looked more in the theme of what we know and can expect from No More Heroes. So I'm excited. It's coming out next year. Hopefully it doesn't get delayed, but I'm definitely hyped for that one. Moving on to Microsoft, I didn't see too much from Microsoft. Obviously their big announcement was Project Scarlet, their next console that'll be coming out for Microsoft. Yeah, I mean, look, I'll be kind of blunt here. My thing with Xbox is that they've always tried to pride themselves on the performance and the internal, components of their consoles, and the kind of peripheral entertainment features that their consoles can do. But for me, like, if I'm buying a gaming console, I want to play games. So I'm getting deja vu again with this Project Scarlet announcement, where they're talking about is performance and a new controller and all this other stuff that I'm going to be able to do, but they haven't really said anything about games that we can expect, and that's bothersome to me. They also haven't said anything about a price point, also bothersome to me. They said backwards compatibility is a thing, but fool me once with that. I bought an Xbox One solely because my Xbox 360 had died, and I was trying to replay some of the games that I still own to this day on 360, and they do not support any of the games that I still have. I have a solid probably 40 to 50 games on Xbox 360, and none of them are backwards compatible with the Xbox One. So I think if my lesson was learned from buying the Xbox One, which is probably collecting dust at this point, I think I'll probably just buy a new Xbox 360 before I buy Xbox Project Scarlet. Nothing against them. If they, fully commit to the backwards compatible thing, they have something really great on their hands. But if they don't, then, fool me once on that, and I'll be looking for whatever else comes out on the market. Gears 5 was announced for Microsoft. They didn't really show any gameplay. I think Gears is kind of out of, it's kind of, I don't know. I hate to say that the first person shooters, third person shooters that were booming in the early 2000s aren't really in existence anymore, but that's what it kind of feels like to me. I mean, when's the last time you saw people streaming Halo? When's the last time you saw people streaming Gears of War? It's been so long, and it's been in so many different hands, and studios have changed, and leaders and developers have changed. It's just I don't know. Gears I don't think it'll ever feel the way that it did in the early 2000s, and it's sad to say, but it's just one of those franchises that I guess after 3, for me, I thought 3 was the best one obviously being the most nostalgic, but 3, I think they really nailed down everything. It hit everything on all cylinders, and I think that was the best one. 4 was kind of meh. Judgment was kind of it's like, of all people to launch a standalone Gears game with, it's like, I don't know why they chose Baird, but whatever, they probably had their reasonings for that. The remake for 1 was obviously good, but it's not something that was new or refreshing on the series. So Obviously, I don't wish anything ill on the development of this game. I hope for the most positive things. I always like being wrong about things like this, so hopefully Gears 5 will be amazing. It will be one of the standout games for Project Scarlet. They showed Blair Witch. I don't know. It sounds like a cool premise, but as far as a game, I just don't know. It could be good and it could be absolutely terrible. I'm sure it'll make for some good let's plays for YouTube or people on Twitch and stuff like that. But as far as me buying it myself, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. And as far as things I was looking forward to or for hearing from Microsoft, that was kind of it. They announced other games, but the Minecraft stuff doesn't do it for me. Forza doesn't really do it for me. Age of Empires doesn't really do it for me. Battletoads, that announcement was cool, but cool, and that's kind of it. Hopefully they'll announce some more things as we go on throughout the year and leading up to the release for the console. So again, Sony didn't have a conference at E3, so individual studios had their own little press conferences. Borderlands 3 looks fire. You guys already know that I'm hyped for that game to come out. I can't wait. Cyberpunk 2077 probably stole the show the most, with Keanu Reeves coming out announcing that he's going to be in the game. We haven't had anything from CD Projekt Red since Witcher 3, and it looks like this game might be going in the right direction. I'm hesitant to jump fully on the hype train just until the game comes out, because who knows what other issues or things that might be not as polished as they're trying to sell us on. So I'm being super wary about jumping on the hype train, but I'm definitely excited, and I'm going to be paying attention to the news that comes out for it. Square Enix, they finally showed us some new gameplay from the Final Fantasy VII remake. They told us it was going to come out next year. We've been waiting to hear some news. All we were hearing was delay, issue, pushback, being held up, and we finally got some real gameplay. We finally got hopefully an announcement date or release date that they're actually going to stick to. I'm hyped for this. As you guys may or may not know, I've never played a Final Fantasy game, and I've always been holding myself to wait and hold out for the Final Fantasy VII remake ever since they announced it was going to come out. The closest I ever got to playing a Final Fantasy game was Kingdom Hearts, and as good as 1 and 2 were, and 1.5, and I didn't play the 50 games in between on 3DS, but as far as that goes, that's as close as it got. 3 didn't leave the best taste in my mouth. People have always arguably said that Final Fantasy VII was one of the best games ever. Them remaking it is probably the bias, or the developers showing how much it means to them as a series. I know a lot of people say Final Fantasy 8 is good, or 9 or 10, but 7's always been the one that kind of I always felt like got away from me, and that I really needed to just play for myself. So now that they've updated the graphics and changed the game mechanics, and everything looks really truly redone, kind of in the same vein as Resident Evil 2 was earlier this year, I'm excited. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to be picking it up. Ubisoft definitely disappointed me. They did not show us a new Splinter Cell. I've been waiting for a Splinter Cell game for so long. I had saw rumors of a Splinter Cell game getting posted online on some Walmart in Australia or somewhere else, and it got taken down. And how the whole thing goes, where it shows up somewhere and it gets taken down and then ends up coming out later. It was not announced. They did show a new Watch Dogs game. I just don't know. I played Watch Dogs 1 and I enjoyed it for a little bit, but then I got kind of bored. The gameplay got really repetitive, really fast. I did not play Watch Dogs 2. I heard it was kind of the same thing, or there's just too much pop culture and too on the nose, I guess, for what they were trying to do. Legion, Watch Dogs Legion looks okay. I just don't know if that's going to be the one to save the series. Who knows if this game does bad, if they'll do another one. Maybe they will, just because they have made so much money off Assassin's Creed, they can kind of just do what they want to. But it looks interesting. You get to swap between characters. You don't have to stick with the same people. It seems like if a character dies, that you lose that character permanently, but it also seems like you can recruit a bunch of different people as well, and everybody kind of has their own quirks and systems and fight mechanics and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess for me personally, I was really disappointed to not. That was like probably one of the main things I was looking to hear be announced at E3 from Ubisoft, and they just did not give me a Splinter Cell announcement. That kind of let me down. Ghost Recon Breakpoint sounds like it's gonna be what we've been waiting for Ghost Recon. I was really disappointed with Wildlands. I did not play it just because of how the game looked in trailers leading up to the game releasing, and how the game actually played. It's completely different from what my expectations were. Hopefully Breakpoint changes that as well. Again, very mediocre announcements from Ubisoft this year. Bandai Namco had a strong showing. They gave us more from the Dark Pictures anthologies with Man of Medan. They finally showed us some of the Dragon Ball Z RPG game called Kakarot. It looks fun. I mean, I don't know how many times we played the base Dragon Ball Z story from all the games since God knows however when we've been playing them, but it looks different. I don't think I've ever played a Dragon Ball Z RPG before, so this will be my first. I know this is not the first time they've done this, but this time it looks pretty interesting. There's a lot of different mechanics in it, and stat leveling, and team recruitment, and switching characters, and just the combat looks really good. The art style looks really solid. I'm not gonna jump out the window, but it definitely looks pretty good. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, I'm sure you're gonna be picking it up. Let me know what you guys think about the gameplay that you saw. Some other little points that came up during E3, we got an announcement of Banjo-Kazooie and the Dragon Quest heroes being announced for Super Smash Ultimate. This is gonna sound terrible also, but I've never played Banjo-Kazooie, but I'm glad he's gonna be in the game. This will be my first time getting to try him out. Dragon Quest 11 I played. I still haven't beaten yet. I'm very close to the end, so it'll be fun to play with him in Super Smash Ultimate. We got Dead by Daylight announced Ghostface from the Scream series. I'll probably download him and try that out. We also got some gameplay from Dying Light 2. I played Dying Light 1. I didn't get super addicted to it as much as everybody else did, but it was a lot of fun. Dying Light 2 looks like it's going to be ramping up everything that they did really well from the first game, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, I think E3 was pretty above average for the most part. There were some disappointments, at least for me, for games that I was looking for that I didn't get, but all in all, I would say it was pretty strong from generally everybody that was presenting. I think Tokyo Game Show would be, when we check back in, then we'll maybe get some more information about some of the stuff that hasn't been announced yet, and some of the teasers that we're waiting and anticipating from PlayStation. I won't say too much about it there, just because I don't want to jinx things, but let me know how you guys felt about E3 in general. Be sure to leave some comments in the description below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. For everybody that was commenting and subscribing in the meantime while I was away on vacation, thank you guys. I'll definitely be getting back to you in the next couple of days. I appreciate all you guys' support, guys, and I'll check you out later. Peace.